Hello everyone, welcome to the next video session, that is our next revision class, that is about the permeability. Today we'll be learning about the factors of permeability, what is permeability and all those things. Permeability, it is nothing but the porous material which permits the passing of water from it. As we also known as it is, we'll be calling it as seepage of water. That means whatever the fluid which is present on the water surface, that will be that will be absorbed very clearly with the interconnection of voids. As this that is the continuous voids is known as also a permeable. They will be having, for a permeable we'll be having slit and clay, and for impermeous for permeable it is gray and gravel and sand, and for impermeable it is slit and clay. Now if we have see, there will be gravel are high permeable, and where stiff and clay are very least permeable, as I said, and hence such clay particles may be termed as impermeable for all type of purpose, partially purpose. Next one is flow of water. How this flow of water through the soil has been done? As this flow of water will be done by the hydraulic gradient. What do I mean by hydraulic gradient? As we all know, this hydraulic gradient will be taken into consideration through the soil saturation. That means the resistance, whatever the flow is there for the particular soil matter, that will be presented with the flow of particular soil. And you will be having some fluid mechanics laws, that means laminar flow, turbulent flow, whatever the flow which is there into the particular type of soil, that means with the pores the water will be released out, so that the fluid with the pipes will also be capable to flow from the soil itself. That means the water is capable of soil to pass of it. And the next is, if you see the Bernoulli's equation, that means the total at any point there will be some steady flow. That means you have some expression in that fluid mechanics which you have studied. The total head is equal to pressure head plus the velocity head. That means the velocity head here will be your elevation head. As you see the principle which can be taken into consideration, that will be taken as your regards, that means the sample soil, whenever you take a length of cross section and area also of a cross section, as shown in the below figure if you can see. And that means there will be some pressure head of a particular time. If you see a total head at A, that means at a point A, whenever the data is taken into consideration, that means the total height is taken as, for it in A point, that is also given as a formula. And even if you see for the total head at a B, that is H suffix B at a point B which we are taking into consideration, that is also given. As these two points A and B, when the energy of a particular soil will need be represented by the total heads, that means H suffix A and H suffix B. When you are minusing it to the total things, totally you will be getting the overall height, that means the actual height of a particular pipe. When the soil is getting immersed out of it, you will be seeing here. And now this soil water and water flow also, all the soils are permeable, whatever the material being you can see, this will be all the permeable, and interconnected pores also between them. As you call see the pores water which is present mostly because of the atmospheric pressure, and it will be this pressure that is equal to 0. And even we will be considering the water table also. And if you see the water table also, that should be assumed as fully saturated soil. In the presence of fully saturated soil only, you can have some small volume of air which can be entrapped, and the degree of saturation will be marginally at 0, that means below 100% it is. Now what is soil water? As we all know, the soil water is nothing but the presence of voids in a soil mass, which we call it as soil water. It can be classified into several ways, as we mostly classified them into, that is free water and held water. If you come for the free water and held water, you have structural water, absorbed water and capillary water. And the next is classification on the phenomena basics. That means the groundwater, capillary water, absorbed water and infilled water. And if you see the classification based upon the structural aspects, you have pore water, solvate water, absorbed water and structural water. Now we'll be seeing what is free water. As we studied, this free water is nothing but your broad classification. How we have done the classification into three categories. That is broad classification, phenomenal classification, and the other one is structural aspects. Now the first one we'll be seeing about the free water. As we know, this free water moves from the soil. That means whatever the influence gravity which is there under the mass, it will be moving. So that is nothing but your free water here. Next is held water. As we all know, this held water is nothing but the porous water which is existing in the pores. Such water is not free to move underground the gravitational force. That means held water will not be moved in any gravitational force. Next is absorbed water. The absorbed water name itself indicates that it is having a freely absorbed to the atmosphere. Physical forces attraction also will be taken, and it is also addition. As these water particles most will have the attractive forces, so that they have two components. That is the first component which we take into bipolar component as electrical charged soils. These are bipolar particles, as these are electrical charged soils. And the next is dipolars, as these dipolars mostly have the double layer, so that the particles cannot attract to the other particle. And the next one is structural water. As this structural water is nothing but it's a combination of chemical, and the structural water soils will be having a minerals in it, and even this water cannot be separated or removed. Those waters cannot be separated or removed. Even if you do an oven dry also, that should be done at 105 degrees to 110 degrees. It can be destroyed. That means at a high temperature they can be destroyed, the crystalline structures of a particular soil sample. Next is infiltrate water. As infiltrate water is nothing but the portion of the surface, whatever it is getting precipitation, that precipitation is going to move downwards through the air content zone. And the next is pore water. As this pore water, it is nothing but an hydrodynamic force, which will be an possibility whenever the air entrapping is present, the air bubbles, they get a capillary force due to that. So that the gravitational and capillary water are two types of pores water here. Next is solvent water. As the solvent water is nothing but an hydration cell around the soil grain. That means there will be some hydration cell around the soil grain, so that the solvent water will not be gone out, and electrostatic and the binding force will be not be there to the particular soil type of soil. So that if you see mostly the leakages will be done because of the solvent water present only. That means the soil is present with a layer to it. And next is groundwater. This groundwater will be subsurface water. That means fills with continuously, it will be filled with the voids here. There is no force of gravitational force also here, which we know. Next is capillary water. As this capillary water is nothing but the minimum force of water whenever the capillary moisture rises above the ground table level. That means the ground table level will be increased, so that this capillary water is taken into existence. And for this capillary water also, there will be some voids depending upon the size of the soil particle. And next is capillary rise. What do you mean by the rise? That means it takes the if you take the capillary tube, it extends to the vertical of the groundwater table is nothing but your capillary rise. Next is contact moisture. As we all know, this contact moisture is nothing but the surface tension. Whenever the surface tension at a particular point is taken into consideration for any spherical thing, the capillary water forms is known as the moisture content here. And we also know what is bulk of sand. As bulking of sand is nothing but a fixed weight, whatever the weight which is fixed for a sand, that will be increased. The volume also increases up to a point. This is known as bulking. Next is effects of bulking on sand. This bulking of sand is the loosest state, where the loosest state means that it loses its bearing capacity, sand considerably. Mostly it will lose its bearing capacity, and even also there is a possibility of sandy type of soils, loose density are usually achieved. This bulking of sand takes place. Next is quicksand. As this quicksand will be coming for 2 mark question also. Mostly if you see what is bulking of sand is also will coming for 2 marks question. And whenever you flow, that means for quicksand, what is a quicksand means? It is an upward direction. That means the seepage will be in upward pressure direction, and the downward pressure direction will be nothing but your effective pressures which will be applying to the particular soil sample. And the seepage also, you will be having a submerged weight also of a particular effective pressure. To reduce our effective pressure, we will be considering it as 0. In such cases, the cohesionless soils, that means the cohesionless soils will be getting all shear strength here. And for the particles also, the tendency is towards moving up direction, but not to the downward direction. The direction of flow will be on the upward direction here. Next we will be seeing about the Darcy's law. Darcy's law is nothing but you have the flow. This was started by the water flow, through which the first study was done in 1856, which was done by the Darcy's. Darcy's law defines what? For the laminar flow, there was a saturated soil which will be having a discharge per unit volume. The proportionality of hydraulic gradient, as we have studied the hydraulic gradient also. That means there is a formula Q is equal to K into I into A. Whereas this V is equal to Ki. As Ki is nothing but, which is, will be calling it as Darcy's law. Where Q is nothing but discharge per unit weight. That means we'll be taking it in rate of flow. And A is nothing but total cross section area of soil mass, and I is nothing but hydraulic gradient. That means will be height and length is taken into consideration here, and K is nothing but the coefficient of Darcy's permeability. And if you see here in the diagram, you can see the height, that is H1, and the soil sample L, and H1 minus H2, and even data H2, and that means, this means the hydraulic gradient how it is being seen. That means the length of the soil sample L, and even the cross section area is A, which is subjected to two different heads, that is H1 minus H2. The hydraulic gradient is I. So that you have, so that by that we will be getting the formula, that is Q is equal to Ki. Due to this, the permeability, that is coefficient of permeability of, will be taken into consideration. Next, what are the assumptions to be taken for this Darcy's law? As this Darcy's law is taken into considerations, there are many assumptions which to be taken into consideration. The first one is the soil should be saturated, and the next one is it should be laminar flow. As I said, for the fluid mechanics which we will be studying, this will be a laminar flow, and there should be a continuous and steady flow also for this. And even you take the consideration of soil cross section area of a soil also, and even for the temperature, time is also taken into consideration, that is for testing, that is 27 degrees centigrade. Permeability, as we know what is permeability, which will be defining the property of soil which permits the water to flow through it, that is nothing but your permeability. And a soil has high pervious, that means whenever you go for a high permeous, you will be having different types of soils, like what is pervious soil, what is impervious soil, like clay, grey, gravel, and all those things, for rocks, and all those things also will be taken into consideration. What are the engineering properties which we will be taking into consideration for the permeability? The first one is settlement of building. Wherever it is there, the permeability has to be done. There should be a particular settlement of building. And yields of wells, whatever the yield of well is also taken into consideration. And the next one is seepage through and below the earth surface structure. Whatever you are constructing, that below through also there should be some seepage. And earth pressure, the earth pressure is the first major thing which we take into consideration. And next one is uplifting pressure of the hydraulic structure. That means whatever the hydraulic structure which is present, you will be taking the uplifting pressure of a particular structure is also taken into consideration. Next is the factors affecting the permeability of soil. What are the major factors which are affecting? This is also an important question for your semester's exam. And next, how these factors which are affecting, the major factors which we will be seeing here is particle size, properties of that means what are the properties of porous fluid, void ratio, shape, particles, structures, and degree of saturation, absorb water, and impurities of water also. Now we will be seeing the particle size. As I said, this particle size is nothing but the major one, how the shape and size of a particular point is taken, how it is going to affect it. As we studied the shape and size of the particle, D10 by D60, which is taking into consideration, is also taken into this consideration. And the next one is properties of porous fluid. Whatever the pores which are present in a particular soil sample, that should be filled, then only the seepage of permeability will be taken into consideration. Void ratio of a soil, that means the void ratio goes on increasing, that means the volume of a soil will be decreases, but not any the solids here, right? So even the shape of the particle will not be changed. If you go on compacting, then the permeability takes place also. There won't be change in the there won't be change in the shape and particle size. And even structure, whatever structures which we have studied, as we studied honeycomb structure, faculated structure, and dispersed structure, and clay matrix structure, all these structures which are taken for a soil sample is also taken into consideration. And the next one is degree of saturation. As we have studied the degree of saturation, how much saturation is done for a particular fully saturated soil, that is partially for saturated soil also will be taken into consideration. Absorb water, as this absorb water, how much water is absorbed whenever the soil is getting, if it is dry soil, if it is different type of soils, whatever the types of soils which are that is we have studied for ASTM, ASTO, that ASHO method, for that also what are the different absorb water materials, this also will be affecting the permeability. Impurities in water, as we know that impurities, what are the organic, inorganic materials which are present in the water, they also, because of that, some of the factors which will be affecting the permeability of soil is also taken into consideration. In the next lesson we will be continuing with other topic. Thank you.